Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I am Ryan Bowling. Thank you all for joining me once again. What I want to talk about in this video is the teenagers in Chicago are once again going buck wild. Hundreds of them reportedly have marauded a neighborhood in the north of downtown Chicago, and they're just going crazy, vandalizing jumping on cars, vandalizing people's property, assaulting people. Look, I'm going to get right into this article and read this article to you guys because I want you to get all the information you need to get from this. So let's get started right now. But this is just insane. But I'm not surprised. And it says, since the coldest winter weather ended in Chicago this year, groups of hundreds of teens have been carousing through various Chicago neighborhoods, reportedly vandalizing cars, stealing from businesses, and physically assaulting people on the streets. The most recent gathering of hundreds of marauding teenagers and young adults occurred on Monday evening in the Lakeview neighborhood, an area just north of downtown. Now, I don't know if this is a high maintenance neighborhood. I don't know if this is a upper income neighborhood or not, but it says Lakeview, so this does sound like an upper income neighborhood. But if it is, then I wouldn't be surprised that these teenagers would do this. But let's go on further. It says the mob of violent teens used the Chicago L train at the Belmont Red Line to gather in the Lakeview neighborhood, swarming out of the station in numbers big enough to shut down traffic adjacent to the station, according to WGN News. It's crazy, man. The teens immediately began jumping up and down on vehicles, damaging rooftops and hoods, and breaking windshields before they fanned out to enter local businesses. This is demonic. One woman who called the police as the teens began their campaign of terror was told the Chicago Police Department cannot help. I was told that there was nothing they could do, the woman said, of what she was told by a police officer. This is just insane. This is absolutely insane, people. Absolutely insane. I mean, this sounds like something from a horror movie or something. But she goes on to say, they were so overwhelmed, it goes on to say, the article goes on to say, they were so overwhelmed at the moment that there was just way too many calls coming in. It's terrifying, said Lakeview resident Grace Rohan, who relayed that she heard gunshots during the assault on the neighborhood. It has been very chaotic, and as somebody who's lived in Lakeview for the past 3 years, it's very scary to see how things have changed over time. You don't think? Video from WGN TV showed teens jumping on cars and raiding businesses while Chicago police officers stood by watching. It's just sick. And I don't. Here's a video of it. And if you guys can, if you want to see the video, you can go to the description box below and type in the article heading, and you'll see the video. It's just showing the video. I don't want to. It's just disgusting. It's just disgusting. But I know why. I believe I know why all this chaos is going on. But let's go on. Shockingly, the CPD only made 2 arrests despite the widespread destruction, according to ABC 7. Resident Dominique Riskinzo said she was even told by officers that she was not allowed to go to try to move her vehicle, which she later found vandalized. Really? Maybe it's to protect her. We want to protect her. Man, this is crazy. I looked down and there was just a mob of people and a bunch of cops standing around watching. And I went to one of them and said, my car was in there. And he said, you're not getting it tonight, Rosendo told ABC. Wow. 44th Ward, Bennett Lawson blasted the Chicago Transit Authority for not doing something to stop the hundreds of teens from using the CTA as a means of transportation for their violent, destructive gatherings. I have to talk to the CTA. They need to be a partner in our success and in our safety, and they are. But understanding people need to move through the city, but when it's appropriate to close the Belmont Station, I don't know how that read, we should be able to do that, Lawson said. I think every year we make tweaks in the plan for Pride and everything that happens around it. We have to start to figure this thing better. You got a valid point there. They'll do anything for the pride. They get that together. But when it comes time to protecting your own people, what do you do? But anyway, let's go on. Lawson added that the same thing happened last year after the Chicago Pride Parade. CPD issued a statement saying, quote, the Chicago Police Department works closely with our city partners, including the Chicago Transit Authority and the Department of Streets and Sanitation. We frequently collaborate and coordinate in public safety efforts and greatly appreciate the continued partnership and support in these efforts. The CTA also spoke up claiming it has protocols in place for such incidents, but so far it does not appear, though these policies, whatever they are, have ever been used to stop such gatherings. The CTA has a very close working relationship with the Chicago Police Department and other city agencies and coordinates very closely with those entities on every event and activity, including adjusting services as necessary. CPD and CTA have protocols in place to address possible station closures, which are designed to ensure a balance between public safety and providing services to CTA customers, the transit agency claimed. Yeah. These mass crowds of teens causing chaos in the Windy City streets have occurred time and time again this year. Just in April, a couple suffered a serious attack as groups of hundreds of teens caroused mobbed the city's downtown loop area. I did a video on that some time ago. Also in April, 2 teens were shot by someone apparently shooting randomly into a crowd downtown during 4 days of rioting and teen mob action. In May, now this is the person I want to get to, if you want to call him a person. In May, Chicago's new mayor, self-professed progressive Brandon Johnson, took office, but the new mayor does not seem to have been able to make a dent in the rising crime rates or put a stop to these mobs of teens terrorizing the city. Gee, sounds similar to my mayor. Indeed, Johnson was heard recently scolding the media and residents for demonizing the mobs of teens. What do you want to call them, man? No one is calling them demons, but what do you want to call them? Oh, these poor teens. Oh my God, I just feel so sorry for them. Man, shut up. Let's go on. In no way do I condone the destructive activity we saw on the Loop and Lakefront this weekend, Johnson said, after the 4 days of destruction wrought in April. It is unacceptable and has no place in our city. However, it is not constructive to demonize youth who have otherwise been starved of opportunities in their own communities. Opportunities in their own communities. Let's go on. I'm almost finished, y'all. Meanwhile, Johnson has busied himself. This is the part that really ticks me off also. Has busied himself with looking to put $25 million in city funds to house illegal aliens and turn several of the city's schools and colleges into shelters for illegal aliens, even as up to 50 Chicagoans have been shot every weekend since he took office. That is the end of that article. Sick and disgusting. Gee, where do I even start? Well, before I start, I want to say I know that's longer than usual reading of an article, but I want you guys to get all the juicy information. First things first, where in the heck are the parents at? Where are the parents? Now, it could be argued that some teens, even though they may have been raised right by their parents, wants to please their peers, so they get involved in some of this stuff. But that's rare. When teens are raised right and you have good parenting, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get this kind of activity. So the question is, where are the parents? It starts in the home for the most part. 99.9% of the time, it starts in the home and ends in the home. Where are the heck are the parents? The other thing is, too, is you're going to continue to get this kind of lawlessness as long as you have politicians like Brandon Johnson and politicians like my own mayor in my own city, Bibbins, I think his name is, these progressive Democrats. You're going to continue to get this lawlessness in the cities all over the country as long as you have these kind of politicians in office. We get what we vote for. If you vote for politicians that believe that criminals and these chaotic incidents with these kids are just crying out from the pain of poverty and the pain of systemic racism and the pain of slavery and blaming all that on their actions, and not holding them accountable for what they do, you're going to continue to get this kind of stuff. See, here's the thing. It boils down to this. What do the people in Chicago, the people in the city of Cleveland, and the people in all these democratic cities all over this country really value? What do you really value? If you value law and order, you will not vote these kind of politicians in office. You won't. Okay? Because they ain't but, and I'm using improper language here, ain't but two parties, Republican and Democrat. If you value law and order, you will vote for the politician that believes that people who commit crimes and do wrong should be held accountable for what they do. Consequences. Because there's no consequences, these teens and other criminals are going to continue to do what they do because they know they can get away with it. Bottom line, period. Consequences. If you believe in that kind of politicians, okay, that believe in law and order, you vote for them. But if you believe that people do these things because they're oppressed and they need counseling, and they need somebody to pet them and feel sorry for them and coddle them and give them help, and we just need to really help you, and maybe some of these people do need help. Maybe a lot of these people are raised in homes that are broken, okay, but they still need to be held accountable for the things they do wrong. Counseling is not going to help them. They need to be punished for the crimes they commit. If you don't punish it, here's the problem with a lot of people. They keep going by what they feel. And this is what a lot of these liberal politicians do. They play on people's emotions. Well, I feel sorry for them. But feeling has nothing to do with it. Okay? Feeling has nothing to do with justice. Let justice be done. These people need to be held accountable. And these teenagers that are doing this kind of stuff, and wherever they at, need to be held accountable for what they do. Because I'm going to tell you this right up front. And I experience this all the time where I work at. Quiet as it may be kept, these teenagers know what they're doing. I see them all the time cussing the guards out, cussing police officers out, riding around on bikes, calling the police officers that I work with at downtown Tower City, calling them pigs, provoking them. Just yesterday, a group of kids on bikes rolled by and slapped the back of my bike with their hand. I didn't even know it. My partners looked at it and said, what the heck? Because I felt my bike jerk, and I looked, and he's like, what happened? Said that guy, one of them guys just hit your bike, So I gave him the boy a tongue lashing, but once again, he knew what he was doing. He was looking at me, he had this smirk look on his face, and what I'm gonna do? What am I gonna do? And I told him, I said, the direction you going in right now is gonna lead to your death. And I said it, and I meant what I said, and I'm not taking it back. Because what I meant by that is, anybody that got sense enough to understand what I mean, you keep going in that direction, being stupid and ignorant, is gonna lead to your death physically. Not just morally and spiritually, but physically. But it's gonna lead to worse and worse actions, and eventually somebody gonna smoke them. That's what's going to end up happening. These teenagers know what they're doing, but they keep doing it, and they're getting more and more bold because why? They know they can get away with it. They know there are no consequences. Okay? They know there are no laws that's going to punish them for it. They know mom and daddy ain't going to do it because mom probably a crackhead and daddy probably a drug dealer. I'm just keeping it real. Like I always say, keep it real. I'm keeping it real. You know it, and I know it. I'm just keeping it real. Okay? This is what's going on. This is what I see. This is what I'm experiencing. This is what's real. And the city of Chicago is going to continue to have these kind of issues. And just about every democratic, progressive city in this country is going to have these same incidents for the most part if we don't get these people out and get people in who believe in law and order. And parents need to be parents. Whether it's a two-family home or whether it's a two-parent home rather or one-parent home, you need to buckle down and say Johnny and JoJo and Bobo and Kaka and Bindley, whoever else child you got, you need to stop doing what you're doing or it's going to be some problems. It's going to be consequences if you don't straighten up right now. Parents need to be parents, And the people of these cities need to open their eyes and vote the right people in office. If you value law and order, you will vote for law and order. If you value feeling sorry for people, you're going to vote for politicians that feel sorry for people who do wrong things. You're going to get what you get because you're voting for them. Bottom line. Bottom line. And that's what I had to say about that. What do you guys think about this incident here in Chicago? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all, and see you again.